Okay.
Okay, we're live, right?
Yeah, yeah, we are.
Oh,
So,
okay.
hi Leticia, how are you?
I am good. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you. I just want to see something quickly. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Maybe I can
Yeah.
play because this is a new app we're using for recording. So we're gonna see how this turns out, and of course,
Okay.
our viewers can let us know what they think as well. So, just welcoming us back and the viewers back to Unfiltered.
Yeah.
Last time you and I spoke, we touched on just your experience of life last year and what it feels like moving into the new year. Maybe with the holidays being over and all of that, you have a little bit of a better footing of some of the manifestations that you want to give space to this year. So, yeah, so should we do that? Is there anything you want to say before I get into just my reflections on last year?
Well, happy Friday. Although over there it's already like what time is it over there in South Africa?
It's 7:25.
PM, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you're like way later in the day. Okay, over here it's like 9:26 a.m. So that's why I'm always like, what time is it over there? I forget.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, okay. Yeah, so over here it's like good morning for those of you that are in California or PST time, but there's probably going to be people from all over the world. So happy
Mhm.
Friday if it's your Friday.
Yes.
But yeah, I want to know more about like how was I think that's what we ended off at last time. It's like how was the last year, your experience and anything that maybe stood out for you as we're now coming into the new year.
Yeah, last year, when I think about it, I'm really grateful for all of my spiritual awakenings in the years prior, all of the work that I did, all of the spiritual processes and the healing that I created space for. Because I think 2024 was going to be a lot more challenging for me. And 2024 I could have experienced 2024 as a literal derailment in my life if I did not have the tools and the self-awareness. Because when I think of the energy of 2024 for me, it feels like getting a call. I like to use analogies. Getting a call from a estranged family members and them telling you you've inherited a great grandparent's house, and you go in there and you are clearly connected to it, but everything is foreign to you, everything's new to you, yet there's resonance because you're connected to it, because it's the pictures of the aunts, the uncles, the grandparents, and you're going in and the house has been standing, um and now you want to make it livable, you want to honor the space, so you've got to do a lot of clearing out, and there's an unpacking. And so it's sort of like, I feel the energy of 2024 was like spending a lot of time in the basement, because it was really, really sitting with all of who I am in a very deep way without anywhere to escape. I feel like 2024 was the year where a lot of us, and we don't experience anything in isolation, we experience it as a collective, where so many of us had to revisit the ashes, you know, of our ancestral trauma, of our own patterns, of our relationship with ourselves, and some of the things that, because a lot of what came up for me around money, the relationships in my life that stood out was my personal currency, um, my self abandonment, deeper levels of self neglect. I wouldn't say abandonment, but self neglect, and it does manifest as abandonment in relationships, where I've desired more than anything else, because of my childhood experience and my life experience as a whole, to be seen and to be in the kind of relationships where I am a priority. But I did sit with a mirror, a large mirror that magnified my own tendencies to make this impossible in my life. You cannot manifest relationships that hold space for you, all of you, if you do not allow all of you space at the table in your own life. And I realized aspects of myself that I would keep tucked away, hide away from others, because I didn't trust how other people would handle it. Maybe because I didn't feel so confident and secure. Whatever the reasons are, I spent a lot of time in my symbolic basement in this old house where a lot of things were being dug up, and I was not escaping them by finding distraction in the external world. And I think that even the people who had a tendency to do that, they couldn't do it last year. So you would have found them, a lot more people, realizing they need therapy, realizing they need to do the spiritual work, but coming in with the mindset that um, you as a spiritual advisor or coach, you as a therapist, you've got to help me establish who's to blame for this. And then when you show them that there are three fingers pointed back at them, it's like, what? So I'm glad I did that work beforehand, because I was able to comfortably sit with myself, to comfortably swallow what my guides were showing me. Okay, so here's what you want, and here's this little thing that you're still very attached to doing that is not that's preventing this. So yes, dusting, clearing out, a lot of deep inner clearing, a lot of moon work took place last year. And so I am really grateful for my twin flame awakening, all of my spiritual awakenings, because I was able to really sit with myself, because all of me was needed to be present for this process. Things around personal currency came up, things around worth. I was able to watch myself in real time, sort of in slow motion, seeing how I'm repeating habits and behaviors that keep pinching me off from the flow of allowing things to happen. And I would sit there and laugh at myself, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy process. It was a very good process. I knew that it was good. I knew 2024 was good, but I'm a Sagittarius. I like to see things happen. And I'm autistic, so if I decide, oh, I like what that bag looks like and I can make it, then I'll sit down now and I'll have a coaching session at 7, and then before I know it, it's that time, and I'm like, oh crap, now I have to stop this. I don't want to stop this. I do. Once I start something, I want to finish it, because I want to see the end result. And that's just how I am. So 2024 was challenging for me from that point of view, because there were no physical manifestations, because it's the basement. It's not the part of the house that everybody sees and visits, and you unpack one box and then it sort of feels like there's another box. I'm just wondering, Leticia, are you still there? You appear
I'm
to be.
here.
Oh, good. Okay. And then
Yeah,
there's
do you see
another
me
box.
okay?
Sorry?
Do you see me okay?
I can hear you, but for some reason you seem to be frozen. So I'm not
Oh, I don't know
sure.
if it's recording like that, but I see both of us moving like I'm playing
Okay,
with my
cool.
hair right now.
Then it's probably not. Then it's probably not. So,
Okay.
okay. So, yeah, so it's the basement. It's a whole lot of boxes. You're unpacking one, and one box, there's so much information in there. And you're wondering, who's this person and what happened to this person? And then you're going into the history of that, and you're asking questions, and that takes you on down the rabbit hole, and that takes you on a journey. So one box takes like a month. And then you're on to the next.
Yeah.
So it was definitely not, 2024 was not about it's not about seeing 3D progress. So for those of us who are still very conditional in our life experience, meaning that we determine the currency and the value of our life based on what we're obtaining, what is moving, what is happening, what action is being taken. We want to see the results, see the results, see the results. That was not the energy of 2024. So there was a lot of that for me, and I also spent a lot of time grieving the idea and the vision of the life that I had built with my ex. And the only reason why I spent a lot of time doing that is because because my habit was to shut down. My habit is to be resistant to giving someone any extra attention. Once they've shown me they're not worth my time or energy, that they don't value me, that they don't love me, that they don't want me in their life, I need to stop thinking about them. I need to stop giving them airtime. I need to stop. And that's not how it works when you're processing something. You still got to create space for the essence of that energy, that person that has been a part of your evolution in relationship. But I was very angry, and I was a little bit lost because I lost the baby as well, and that was at the heart of everything for me. And it was a baby that I really, really wanted for a long time, since the age of 28, because I had my kids really young. Before I was ready, before I felt 100% ready, and before I was ready, I've made myself ready once I had them. So when I was 28, it was the first time that I experienced being broody. What you would see in movies, what women would express when they have this deep desire, that I'm sure is biological or even chemical in the body, to have a baby. And so I felt that I'd finally met someone that I want to do that with again. And that relationship collapsed. So I didn't want to deal with that. I felt like I had wasted my time. I was angry. It didn't make sense to me. And I was a little bit afraid to sit with it because I didn't have all the answers. Previously, when I was in relationships, it was obviously toxic. It was obviously unhealthy. There were obvious things that happened. My first husband had a gambling addiction, was a pathological liar, and because of his gambling, secretly put our house in jeopardy. Like, he would hide the letters from the bank so that I wouldn't see that it's the bonds not being paid. So those were obvious things. And it was easy for me to then, okay, this is what I should do. And this is what I'm processing. With my second husband, narcissistic, bipolar disorder, not wanting to take medication. The stuff that he did was so obviously horrendous. He was always having some sort of affair with various people, groups of people. It was it was obvious stuff. So it was easy to know why I left. But with this relationship, it was one of the healthiest relationships I'd had. So it didn't make sense to me why he sabotaged it. And I went into avoidance a little bit. But every now and then I would gently coach myself out of it to face a little bit and then back into the pattern of avoidance. So that's why it took a little bit longer. So that was 2024 for me, a lot of that. And then December was this explosion of new energy after the is it Pluto that shifted into a new planet. After that, even though all the astrologers were talking about how it's going to affect the fixed signs, I definitely felt the energy shift. There was this explosion of new energy. I was suddenly talking to people again, meeting new people, lovely energy. I had my aunt come and visit me, which was awesome. I had my parents in Cape Town, my brother and his wife, and there was lots of fun things happening, and just really, really delicious. But it went from this just me and me to suddenly having this explosion of other people, and I was a little bit overwhelmed. I was a little bit, because I couldn't, I felt like, okay, I need to process this. Like, I need to take this in. I need to process this. So it was a very interesting year, very intense energy. But yeah, that sort of sums up my year for my 2024. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I mean, there's so much there, you know, like with processing and grieving, and it kind of reminds me of the retrograde, right? Like how that always happens at the end of the year like that. And a
Yeah.
lot of people find themselves like reviewing the year, and they're kind of like trying to declutter, and I think it's a natural process that we're supposed to kind of go through before we get into the new year, where you know a lot of people look at it as like the resolutions and what
Yeah.
are they and all of that stuff. But
Yeah.
there is something about that for why we want to, because there is a new energy that now is here, you know, into a new year. And I think that now it's like, okay, now what do I want to do next, right? Like now that I've decluttered and rearranged things in my home, like now I can make space for other things. So
Yeah.
I really like that new energy. And I do feel like similarly to you, and I think I was just telling you that, I feel like the energy has just picked up. There's times where, you know, clients share this with me too, and I have felt this for some time too, where you just feel stuck, or you're like in the in between, where it's
Yeah.
like, when is that next thing happening? Like, I want movement, like we're not moving forward. So sometimes you're in a holding phase, or you're just not moving, you know, and then you get frustrated. But then the energy, like, at least for me personally, like when it picks up, like it picks up, like it picks
Yeah.
up like quickly, and it's a lot. And then when I'm stopped, like I'm stopped, like I'm on hold. And I
Yeah.
knew, and you know, last year I also felt like I was also in a little bit of a holding phase. But similarly to you, you know, like I was trying to grieve and process and, you know, do what I needed to do to prepare for the new energy that came in. And so now that's happening. And so this is why, like, we're now in a new year, and, you know, now I am thinking about manifesting and goals and the things that I would like to have come in. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering for you, you know, is there anything that you are looking forward to this year? Like anything that you're actively manifesting?
Yes. So I just thought of something as you were talking. You know, last year was the year of eight. It was a number 8 year, which is a very
Hmm.
abundant number. It's a number
Yes.
of wealth.
My favorite number.
Yes. What a lot of people don't, what a lot of us focus on when we think of abundance is the thing, the money, the holiday, the car, the house. What we don't realize true abundance is how present we are with the current experience and the abundance in the experience. So there was a lot that we were offered last year, but it wasn't a lot of money necessarily. It wasn't a lot of gold. It wasn't a lot of cars. It wasn't a lot of boats. And then we tend to discredit the experience, and we create a life of shortage. But when you are able to be present with the year the way we were able to be last year, which is the year of wealth, then the number 9 year, which is a major life force number, which is the year we're in now, if I'm correct, yeah, that will make sense, is the manifestation. So it's like the sowing of the seed, the tending to the land, the getting enough rest so that you can do all the work in the farm to tend to make sure that you've collected enough rainwater. Those are all tedious, boring things to do. It's not as fun as seeing the crop grow or the fruits, the trees bear fruit. But if you do not do those things, you're not, if, and you don't have a good foundation in which to sow your seeds, what kind of harvest can you expect? So I feel like the year that we're in now, 2025, is really about the kind of harvest that we can expect based on last year. And I'm not surprised that you feel that natural pull to, oh, now I'm ready to manifest, because that pull is letting you know that there are things you've created that are calling to you now. And that pull is saying, okay, I'm here now. Okay, that's our instinct. That's our guidance system saying, Okay, get into alignment with this thing, get into alignment with that thing. And a lot of people think, oh, it just means that I'd really like this because I saw it there. No, you feel a desire towards something because you've created that particular thing or something like it that's going to ignite the very same experience for you. So for 2025, I'm going to say what I say every year. What I've been saying every year for the past couple of years. Probably I started writing this book when my son was kidnapped at 4 months old, and he's 16 now. I've got the book, but I want to make a few edits to it, and I want to put it into a manuscript, and I want to finally send it off and get it published. So I'm setting that intention. And I feel that I'm more of the grid's been filled in, and I'm better equipped to be able to do that. I've got the story. I know how to write. The energy just wasn't there. And I'm such a believer of I need to be in alignment with the energy of the project or the thing that I'm wanting to do. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it justice. I feel like more of those juices are flowing. So I want to give that my attention this year again. I also feel that I want to manifest more avenues when it comes to my work, my spiritual work, more group work, maybe, more community work, which I haven't been keen to do previously because I felt like there was more value in the one-on-one stuff. And I will obviously continue to do that. I do enjoy doing that. I think that we really get to the meat of stuff. But I'm feeling like my work is going to evolve a little bit and expand so that I'm able to let in more abundance without having to exude so much of my energy, you know? So I just feel like the universe has, there is this creative experience, there is this experience that's been created on my behalf that's going to be perfect for me this year that I'm wanting to allow. So for me, manifesting, I don't do New Year's resolutions. I don't do goal setting because my relationship with that doesn't work. A goal and a time frame, it causes resistance because of how my brain is wired. If something's too rigid, I'm gonna shut down. If the energy doesn't feel right, I'm gonna shut it off, and then I'm not gonna go back to it again. Unless I'm flexible about it, then I can sort of revisit it again, feel what it feels like. So people are gonna go to the ocean and they're gonna decide, well, because we're at the ocean, we must swim. I'm not that person. I'm going to sit on the sand and feel like I'd like to swim. How does it feel in this moment? No, I'm not ready. Let me read my book. Now I just want the ocean looks lovely. Do I want to swim? I'm not sure. Let me put my toes in the water. Okay, later. That's me. So for me, I see giving space to my goals more as a state of allowing what's already been created that is in my vortex or in my energy bank. Because I believe that we are creating constantly. Right now, you and I are having a conversation, and we've created a whole lot of things just with the energy that we're experiencing and exchanging, and it's been put into our vortex. And when we draw that out is dependent on how ready we are to have that 3D experience. So goal setting for me is about deciding you want something and then planning how you're going to make that happen. That is not a process that resonates with me. I believe it's already done. If I do the planning and I have a time frame, I introduce more resistance than anything else. And this is something that we do as humans. We just do. That's why when you're not thinking about that thing that you've been thinking about having for a couple of years and you finally don't care about it anymore, then it just falls into your lap. So to me, it's about just creating the space and providing myself with the tools and doing the exercises and being as present as I possibly can to be in a state of the utmost allowing for all the things that I want to experience this year. So writing my book, expanding when it comes to my work, doing more interesting, fun things when it comes to my work. I feel like this year is going to be a good year for me when it comes to love and relationship. I feel like I'm closer to my life partner, to my soulmate than I've ever been. I really like where I am and how I'm experiencing myself, and I can tell because I'm experiencing myself and I'm witnessing myself in that arena. I'm witnessing myself to be very, very different to what I've been before, and in a good way. So that's definitely something I want to allow and give space to. And that obviously comes with more adventure, with expanding your world, because when you let someone, a different person walking a different life path into your life, then they basically invite you into their life path and you invite them into yours. So your world just opens up. I'm more ready than I've ever been at the age of 41. So, and you've never heard me say this really. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I would like to have more experience my surroundings, my country more with my children this year. And yeah, everything else, I think there will be more things that I will get to experience, that I will manifest, that I will love and appreciate. But I'm not at a place in my life where I feel anything needs to change specifically, other than me just allowing for things to be easier and for things to be more fun, and for me not to have a nice work-life balance, you know, even though my work is my life, it's who I am. But I've also learned to create different spaces for those things. You know, you and I have spoken about this in the past, where relationships have been a challenge for me because being a spiritual practitioner, being a psychic, being a medium, channeling spirit, um, is such a big part of my life. And it's so much fun because it really does empower me and the people that I work with, that I just want to share that with everybody. But it's not healthy. It's not healthy because when I was in relationships, I didn't know how to take that hat off. So I felt that's where my worth is. And then I would find myself pouring so much into the relationship and not giving the other person an opportunity to pour into. And it just created for such imbalance. And it also meant I attracted people that was attracted to that tendency. Please fill me up. I want someone to fill me up. And those were the people that I was attracting. And then I was like, no, I don't want to attract this anymore. I want somebody to be able to pour equally, so there's reciprocity. So I am
Yeah.
looking forward to what what I am able to give more space to now. I think I can allow more things to happen in my favor, and I can allow things to be easier than they've ever been before. So those are some of the things I can think of. I'd love to get a house. I'd love to get a house of my own, or a new, bigger house, nicer house. Um, so, but I'm fairly comfortable now. It's taken me 2 years to get comfortable. And you know how I always say with manifesting, you can't get to a satisfactory, comfortable home from a dissatisfied, uncomfortable home. You've got to get comfortable and satisfied where you are to manifest the more. And so that's
Yes.
definitely where my focus is going to be. And you?
Okay, so I've been like patiently waiting to show you this.
Yeah.
So in the morning, I use it's an archangel deck, and I
Yeah.
always pull a card just to kind
Okay.
of have like a message. It's always like uplifting and it just feels good, you know? So
Yeah.
this morning I pulled 9 of Gabriel.
Oh.
And I mean, there's a message with it and everything that I already read. But when I looked at the picture intuitively, I even told, you know, my partner this morning, I was like, this picture here shows a garden and it shows a man with a shovel. A
Oh.
shovel. And I'm thinking shuffle because I shuffled my cards. Okay, so a shovel. And pretty much I told him, literally just told him before connecting with you, I think this means that all of my seeds are going to grow. Like they're going to sprout. And then look at the card. I don't know if you could see it, but
Oh.
it's a garden.
Oh my
And you were
goodness.
just talking about that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there's a lot of confirmation there that this is going to be the year where a lot of the seeds are going to actually start sprouting for people and there's going to be movement with things that, you know, like I was saying, like when you feel stuck and you just feel like, okay, why isn't this happening for me, or why am I not seeing that thing happen or come in or change or whatever, you know? So I feel like there's this energy that's really big right now. It's fast moving.
Yeah.
Like the beginning of the year, it's not about, oh my gosh, let me make these resolutions. It's about the fact that it's just new energy to do something with. And I think, I mean, I'm always like a big like I always talk about this often with clients, but don't make unrealistic goals, first of all, because if you do that, this is why we end up like in week 3 of January feeling like I'm a failure, I never stick to anything, you know, etc. So it's like, you know, having realistic goals. And so when it comes to me and this year, and also what I've learned about myself, as well as some of the things that you're saying, they also resonate with me. I can be really rigid. I could be really, you know, a perfectionist in a lot of ways. And when my goals are now too much, it just feels like it's taking too much of my time. And, you know, I have other things that I also would like to be doing. I end up just blocking it off. Like, I'm just like, nope, like, doesn't feel right now. Like, where I used to force myself and make myself do something when it didn't feel right. And now that doesn't happen anymore because I actually honor, you know, where's my energy at right now? How am I
Yeah.
feeling? And this kind of, I mean, this is also connected to why I haven't even done my own podcast for some time, because I'm just like, it's not there yet. Like, I'm not there yet. It's coming. Like, I'm starting to feel it, but I wasn't before. And so I'm honoring that.
Yeah.
And this year, I mean, I do have specific goals, but I'm going to be breaking them up rather than like, let's do them all at the same time. And, you know, they have to happen now. So, one of my number one goals right now is to do a hypnotherapy certification. And I mean, I don't know if anybody knows who this is, but Paul McKenna. Did I share that with you already? Paul
You
McKenna.
didn't,
I've
but you
been
must share
following a lot
the
of his
info
work.
because I also want to do hypnotherapy. So
Oh
share the
my
info
gosh.
with
I
me.
am obsessed. I am obsessed with this guy right now. Like seriously. So I'm going to be going to the UK next month, and me and my partner are going to one of his events, and he's going to be doing like a hypnotherapy, you know, session
How
with, you know,
cool
a
is
live audience.
that?
I'm so excited. Okay, so this is like a four month time frame, like to finish the certification, and he teaches you how to do hypnotherapy. Now he just actually like all of his values, his beliefs, the way he teaches and heals, and just everything aligns with me 100%. Oh, is everything okay? Can you hear me?
Sorry about that. Someone tried to call me. It's probably a
Oh, okay.
annoying call center. If I can know who that person is, I can maybe ring their next shame, but they wouldn't know.
Oh, okay. No, no worries, no worries. I thought that there was like an electricity. It sounded like on my end, like if it was like an electrical thing, I was like, "Are you all right?" Um, okay, so anyways, like this is a 4 month program, and
Okay.
he teaches you how to manifest also using hypnotherapy by retraining your brain, reprogramming your brain with like
Yeah.
getting rid of like limiting beliefs and just helping yourself like have the self-esteem, you know,
Yeah.
like just removing old programs. And I'm all about neuroplasticity, you know,
Yep.
reprogramming, getting rid of all of these limiting thoughts and beliefs that hinder us, you know, because that I think about manifesting with like strategy steps. Like you also have to have a plan. You can't just sit
Yeah.
there and wish and then nothing happens and then you're like, "Well, why isn't anything happening?"
Yeah.
When you manifest, or at least when I'm manifesting too, I feel like I'm also getting the motivation to believe in wanting to do something to get closer to whatever it is that I'm wanting to bring in. So I'm not
Yeah.
actually just sitting around waiting for it to show up at my doorstep. Not to say that that's not possible, because I've seen some crazy things out there that people do create.
Yeah,
But, you know, for me personally, what
but
was that?
that only happens if you don't care that much about the thing. Ma-
Mm-hmm.
so when you're manifesting, the most important thing is to pay attention to what is activated when you think about having that thing, what sort of beliefs and thoughts, being present with yourself and getting into a place of allowing that which is yours, that which you desire to come into your experience, is more about getting out of your own way. And sometimes working through the limiting beliefs and focusing on the limiting beliefs just embed them even deeper. So everybody's process is going to be slightly different depending on how they function and how their brain works.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to what because people are so conditional, they think working towards a goal is about the action. Like, what is the next step I should take? What's the next thing I should have? Oh, I should have this much money, so then I need to
Mm-hmm.
get a job to get that much money. And then you already have created so much resistance. By the time you've gotten to the third thing on your list, it's you're just going to extend the time frame for that to come in. And I think that's where people misunderstand what the process is when it comes to manifestation. And you do have all these people online saying, you don't need to do all of those things. You don't need to be aware of that. Just focus on this. Just imagine, just assume you're going to have it and it's going to come. Yes, it'll come. The relationship will come, but it's going to come on the vibration that is active. So yes, you're going to manifest a partner and you're going to think, yay, I did great. I've manifested it. But if the dominant vibration around relationship is, I'm afraid of being cheated on, guess what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
That partner's going to cheat on you. So yeah, you're going to celebrate. I've manifested the person, but you're manifesting the vibrational resonance of your trauma or your fear or your belief system. You know what's going to be
Yeah.
quite interesting, Leticia, is for to see, because obviously with me in my coaching, depending on where how much resistance there is and just the individual's conditioning and constitution, manifesting can take different periods of time for different people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gets there in their own time, but what's going to be quite interesting to see once you've done this and you have clients that you're working with is to study and to see how with hypnosis that is fast tracked and how much it closes the gap, how much time is reduced. Time
Yes.
is
Yes.
reduced with.
Yes.
So that's going to be quite
So
interesting.
I already know that that's going to happen. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like a knowing. I know it's going to happen.
Yes.
And this is
Yes.
why I'm being pulled in that direction to do that. I mean, first and foremost, like I'm going to help myself too, because I feel like that's empowering to also believe in what you're doing. You know that there's evidence of it to some
Yes.
extent, and I
Yes.
feel like I've already seen a lot of growth. Like I've tried even his hypnosis. He has hypnosis online for free, and I've tried them. I have like sent them to different people, and they're like, I have like a shift, like something has changed in how I'm thinking about this and that, and there has actually been growth.
Yeah.
So that's like my first goal this year, like with what I want to bring in, is I want to do that certification. The second
Okay.
one, and I'm looking at time a little bit too, because we're kind of getting a little bit into the next hour. I want to do a what's called a medical intuitive certification program. So this
Okay.
one is to help people with like, medical issues. And I mean, I'm kind of dipping into that with some of the work that I'm doing as a Reiki practitioner, but I
Yes.
think that it's going to help me to feel more empowered and to believe more in my abilities with being able to do this, and actually being able to look at the chakras and the energy centers, and what it is that's making someone ill, or what can be cleared out to improve something. So
Yeah.
that's going to be next. but that one is going to be a longer program. Like that's probably going to be like a year and a half or something like that. So I want to be able
Okay.
to that I can just like focus just on that and really put myself really, involved in that program. So that one's really exciting for me. I mean, so is the Paul McKenna one. I mean, they're both very exciting to me, but I'm going to be, combining a lot of this with what I'm going to be doing. And
Yeah.
another thing that stood out with what you mentioned with your goals is that I also see myself doing group group work. I'm
Yeah.
actually wanting to do something with, bringing people together. There's something there with like manifesting as a whole. Like I want to bring people together and manifest together because I do think that there's something that's going to happen with that. At least with the work I'm supposed to be doing. And that's going to
Yeah.
help with the hypnotherapy that I'm going to be bringing in to help people to believe in themselves, to believe in what's possible, and removing
Yeah.
these blocks. So instead of so much individual work, at some point, I think I'm going to be transitioning out of that. Maybe not
Yeah.
100%, but mostly. So that way I can work less, which is the goal in my own personal life, and be able to have more time to live life, but also reach more people too. That's also, part of this year. So there's a
Yeah.
lot there, and probably other things that will eventually come up, but that's where I'm at, with all of my goals,
Well,
and I'm
that's
excited.
cool. And I mean, the next thing is your trip, so that's going to be exciting. When it
Yes,
comes,
I'm
when it,
excited.
I was just thinking because I said I also want to do hypnosis. The type of course I want to do around that has got to do more with Akashic records. I
Oh,
But I'm
okay.
really looking forward to seeing and hearing from you in the months once you're doing this, how, what experiences you have with clients and what experiences you have as well. I'm not someone that I personally don't respond well to hypnosis. I don't respond to it the way that a lot of people do. So I like to be very involved in my own process. And maybe that's why I take my clients through that process so that they're controlling and governing what they're willing to give space to and when they're ready in their own time. But there are definitely people that path is definitely going to suit them better because there are so many people that are resistant to doing their own work, like they get a little bit tied up. Not everybody revels in being involved in the process in that way, so it's going to be very curious to see. But that's fun
Yeah.
because this means lots of interesting things are going to be happening for us this year for you, and we're going to be hearing about a lot of fun stuff from you as well.
Yeah, at some point, I'll be recording from the UK for one
Yeah,
of these sessions.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Listen, before we go, I know we're going over time a little bit. I want you to pull a angel card for me. So you showed us
Okay.
the Archangel Gabriel, um,
Okay.
and you know the number 9 is wish fulfillment. So that card is about Archangel Gabriel coming in and fulfilling your wishes. So that's a powerful, beautiful card. So let's see what you pull for me.
All right. 1 second. Let me go ahead and clear the energy because the last time was me. Okay. Clear the energy. Okay. Spirit provide a message for Elif.
And then those of you who are still here with us, um, go and check out the recording on YouTube as well. If you're watching it on Spotify, if you're listening to it on Spotify, go and check it out on our YouTube channel, which is what is it, Leticia? Unfiltered Ink, right?
For which one? For
Our
YouTube?
YouTube channel, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We have it on Spotify, so just look up like
Yes.
under Elif or Leticia. It should be for both of us on there.
Okay, cool.
Unfiltered, it should come up. And then also, so Spotify and YouTube, they're
Oh,
available on both.
awesome.
And
Awesome.
we'll
Yeah.
we'll upload it shortly here, like
Yes.
after I
Cool.
record.
So
Okay.
if you guys
Okay, so one
want,
second.
to have a card pulled, put it in the comments. I'm being a bit forward. I'm deciding that for you, Letitia, but I can also pull a card. But if you want to get an angel card pulled, um, yeah, I can do that too. Um, So just put it in the comments if you want to know what.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 4 of Raphael, and
Yeah.
Raphael is about healing. And I mean, I'll tell you what the card looks like to me intuitively, but it's
Yeah.
a little girl on the beach, and
Okay.
she's kind of playing with like some seashells. And it's like a little girl, like inner child. It feels like inner child stuff. And it says, seek out other possibilities, look for the magic in life, be aware of your own emotions. So
Yeah.
I'll read you the little description here because there's a
Yeah.
little description on a page. So one second. Let me see. 4. Okay, it says, there are additional options available to you. Your situation may seem to you to be limited or not what you would hope for, but there is more here than meets the eye. Opportunities are presenting themselves, but your focus is too narrow, so you aren't seeing them. Open your eyes to all of the possibilities. Life may seem to be lacking in magic and excitement, but there is a great shot here at enlightenment. Spend time in meditation with the knowledge that any disillusionment you feel is meant to urge you into self reflection, leading to a happier life. Additional meanings of this card: awareness of your emotions, taking things for granted, missing the point.
Yeah. Yeah. It gives me the energy of the Four of Cups.
Yeah, it's an emotional card for sure because
Yes.
there's water in it with the beach.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Beautiful. Thank you. So it's basically the message that I'm getting is there are so many blessings coming in for you this year. Try not to be so rigidly focused, Elif. Look a little bit ahead, beyond that, and yeah, and
Yeah.
then you'll see it. You'll see it. Yeah, because yeah, I
Sometimes
think
what I'm getting also is, the way that you think something should happen isn't the only way. Like it can be many various different ways that it can come in, and if all you're focused on is like this is the only way that that thing can happen, then
yes,
you're missing the point. You're missing the
absolutely.
opportunities.
Absolutely. But that is I mean the universe is challenging me a little bit because that is just how I am with my autism. Things are supposed to happen a particular way.
Yeah, I know. I understand that.
Anyway,
All
cool. Thank you
right.
so much. Thank you so much. This was fun. This
Yeah.
little
It
catch
was
up.
fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So until
Okay.
next time, you must take good
Until
care of
next
yourself.
time. Looking
Yes.
forward to connecting with you next time and all of you, all of you
Yes.
listeners out there.
Yes. And please do give us your feedback and comment. Um, yeah. And if you're seeing this on YouTube, go and check it out on Spotify. Yeah, any feedback is appreciated. We're wanting to grow this community for all of you beautiful souls. So we're looking forward to spending more time with you next time. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Take
Okay.
care. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.